Hi, welcome to Daily Dose of Anime Recaps. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the series My First Girlfriend Was a Gal. A young virgin high school boy suddenly starts getting attention from a lot of girls in his classroom and ends up dating the most beautiful and popular girl in the school. Despite this, other girls continue to approach him and seduce him, trying to ruin his newly made relationship. His friends are still single and are jealous to see him getting all the attention from the girls. Will he be able to handle himself, or will he betray his girlfriend and hook up with other girls? Before we begin, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next episodes. The episode opens up with the main character, a high school boy, Junichi Hashiba, making his way toward his high school after their term break. It's his first day in the school, and when he reaches there, he notices that almost all his friends have coupled up, and he is the only one still single. He then enters the classroom and meets his buddies, Shenpei, Kaigo, and Minoru, while they are regretting not being able to make girlfriends during the break. Soon, Junichi joins them and expresses his thoughts that making girlfriends in high school is easier. However, he realizes that he is still single and worries about his situation. Right then, Junichi's childhood friend, Nene, approaches him from behind and hands him the lunchbox that he forgot at his home. She seems interested in Junichi and tries to flirt with Junichi, but because of her kid-like face, he does not pay any attention to her and just sends her away. After Nene leaves, Junichi's friends surround him and start teasing him for being approached by a cute little girl. Seeing this, Junichi tells him that she is just his childhood friend, and he only thinks of her as a little sister and nothing else. As soon as Junichi says this, the boys get even more excited and ask him to introduce them to Nene. In fact, they have fallen for Nene's big chest and begin making perverted comments about her appearance. While Junichi's friends are imagining Nene pairing up with them, another girl, Kayashi Yui, calls Junichi by his name and starts conversing with him. She tells Junichi that she is very happy to be in the same class as him and is excited to study together, surprising Junichi. However, having very little experience with girls, Junichi has no idea how to respond to her statement. Later, after she leaves, Shenpei starts commenting about Kayashi's chest, stating that they are smaller than usual. Annoyed, Junichi grabs Shenpei and tells him that the real character of the girls cannot be judged by looking at the size of their boobs. However, Keiro and Minoru think otherwise and mention that the simpler the girls look, the pervier they are. Following this, Shenpei, Keiro, and Minoru sit at one corner of the classroom and take out the adult magazines to read them in front of everyone. Embarrassed, Junichi tries to stop them from doing so, but instead, his friends persuade him to grab one of the magazines and continue reading. Just when Junichi grabs a magazine, a beautiful and popular girl in their class, Yame Yukana, confronts them. Afraid, Junichi tosses his magazine in the air and it lands near Yukana. She takes a look at the magazine and walks away, calling them disgusting. After the class, Junichi is still embarrassed about the previous incident and thinks of apologizing to Yukana. On the other hand, his friends deduce that Junichi should apologize to Yukana and also propose to her at the same time. They think that as she likes to change her boyfriends frequently, she will easily accept his proposal and fulfill his desire of getting laid. Sadly, despite Junichi refusing to do so, his friends grab him and leave a confession letter in Yukana's locker with Junichi's name on it. In the following scene, Yukana reads the letter and comes to meet Junichi. Junichi is surprised to see Yukana, and she even starts to flirt with him. Before Yukana can say anything, Junichi kneels down and apologizes to her. Furthermore, remembering his friends motivating him, he also requests her to go out on a date with him. Seeing this, Yukana asks him to get up, but Junichi denies it, as he does not want to miss the view that he is able to see from this position. Soon, Yukana realizes that Junichi is looking at her undergarments and ridicules him. Later, after realizing that Junichi is still a virgin, she decides to play with his emotions and sits in a squat position in front of him. In embarrassment, Junichi tries to run away, but surprisingly, Yukana grabs his hand and pulls him closer. She then puts her chest close to his face and accepts his proposal to go out on a date. Listening to this, Junichi becomes extremely happy and screams out loud in excitement. Later at night, Junichi tries to sleep but is still in disbelief that Yukana actually accepted his proposal. The next morning, on his way to school, Junichi meets his friends and is worried about the fact that Yukana will ruin his image at school. To his surprise, his friends tell him that no matter what happens at school, they will always be by his side and help him. Suddenly, they notice Junichi receiving a hot selfie from Yukana and change their tune towards him. After this, they pretend to not know Junichi and prepare to walk away. But when Junichi reveals to them that he and Yukana haven't kissed yet, Shenpei returns and suggests he invite Yukana for a karaoke date night. At first, Junichi hesitates to do so, but when his friends assure him that during karaoke, he will have a better chance to spend some private time with Yukana and get laid, he agrees. Sometime later, Junichi arrives in the classroom and seems nervous to ask Yukana for a karaoke date. Right then, Kashi greets him and tries to make small talk, but Junichi ignores her and walks away. To his bad luck, Yukana enters the classroom, grabs his hand, and announces to the class that she and Junichi are actually dating. Hearing this, the whole class gets shocked. After school is over, Junichi's friends leave him alone in the classroom and return home. Junichi tries to join them, but they seem jealous about multiple girls talking to him and walk away asking him to enjoy his time with Yukana. In the meantime, Yukana arrives there and requests Junichi to spend some time with her. Soon they step outside the school where Junichi notices Nene waiting for him. Seeing Yukana and Junichi holding hands, Nene asks them what they are doing, only for Yukana to tell her that they are dating. This reply breaks Nene's heart, and she runs away from there, despising Junichi. In the next scene, Yukana extends an invitation to Junichi to join her for karaoke. As soon as he hears this, Junichi remembers his friends telling him about private cabins in a karaoke club and imagines seducing Yukana as they sing. Moments later, they arrive at a karaoke club, and Yukana books a room for them. Inside the room, Junichi has a lot of dirty images running around in his head, but soon realizes that Yukana is there to just enjoy singing songs and spend some time with him. Despite this, he tries to kiss her after remembering Shenpei's instructions, but Yukana abruptly breaks it off by drawing attention to his prominent nose hair and embarrassing him. Eventually, Yukana seems to enjoy Junichi's company and mentions that she would definitely go out with him again. After this, they depart from the karaoke club but are unaware of Yukana's friend, Renko, keeping an eye on them. The following morning, Junichi approaches his locker in school and gets shocked after finding a love letter inside. At first, he assumes that his friends are trying to prank him, but when they deny it, he takes the letter seriously. Later, he deduces that he cannot meet any other girl without informing Yukana, or else she will get angry with him. But when his friends pressure him to not break the heart of the cute girl who wrote the letter for him, he goes to meet the girl. Surprisingly, when he arrives at the mentioned location, the girl who wrote the letter turns out to be none other than Renko. Junichi, who was hoping to see a cute girl, instantly becomes surprised to see Renko waiting for him. Renko purposely gets closer to Junichi and quickly finds out that he is still a virgin. Junichi tries to run away but stumbles and falls to the ground. Using this opportunity, Renko gets on top of him and aggressively seduces him, placing her huge chest in front of him. Unfortunately, while she is doing so, Yukana arrives there and yells at Junichi for cheating on her. Just when Junichi thinks that he made Yukana angry, she approaches them and reveals to him that Renko and she are actually childhood friends. She also states that Renko was just trying to tease him and have fun. However, her belief turns out to be wrong when Renko secretly mentions that she will destroy Yukana's relationship with Junichi as soon as they depart. The following day, when Junichi, Yukana, and Renko are exploring the city by bowling, shopping, and visiting different restaurants, Renko does not leave any opportunity to get in between Junichi and Yukana. Later, when the three are about to leave the shopping mall, two men approach them and start teasing Yukana, asking her to join them to have some fun. Although Junichi is pushed away for trying to defend Yukana, Renko decides to join the two men only to teach them a lesson. She takes them into a corner and beats the hell out of them. In the next scene, while Junichi is returning home, he is feeling embarrassed for not being able to protect Yukana when it actually mattered. Right then, Renko arrives in front of him and drags Junichi inside his home. She then starts seducing Junichi once more, and after learning that he is dating Yukana in order to get laid. Despite her multiple attempts, Junichi does not fall for her seduction and remembers that he only wants to have sex with the person he loves, and that is Yukana. His comment enrages Renko, who then acts more violently and mentions that she will never let him get intimate with Yukana as she likes her. Soon after hearing Junichi scream, Yukana arrives there and finds Junichi and Renko in an unpleasant position. Seeing this, Yukana assumes that Junichi was trying to cheat on her, but Renko quickly downplays it and explains to her that she was just testing Junichi's loyalty to her. Hearing this, Yukana gets tears in her eyes and tells Renko that she really loves her and is lucky to have a friend like her. The next morning, while Junichi is on his way to school, thinking that Renko will never torture him again, she appears from behind and warns him not to tell Yukana anything about what she feels for her. Unbeknownst to them, they are being watched by Kashi, who is still in disbelief about Junichi dating some girl other than her. At night, Junichi conducts research on gals, similar to Yukana and Renko, and discovers an internet program starring a fashionable lady who criticizes others while her fans concur and chat. He then tries to study the girl's movements and behaviors to have a better idea while he is around Yukana and Renko. The following day, Kashi arrives at school in happy mode as she is greeted by her friends, notably Junichi. Unbeknownst to them, in her own imaginary world, Kashi considers and treats her classmates like servants and maids. On the other hand, Kaigo talks about the girl he saw online last night with Junichi, Shinpei, and Minoru. He shows them the picture of the girl on his phone, and Shinpei questions the picture, mentioning that he already has seen the girl elsewhere. During lunchtime, when Junichi is having lunch with Yukana and Renko, Kashi approaches them and asks Junichi to talk to her. However, despite Junichi wanting to help Kashi, Renko sends her off, telling her that he is busy and she is actually disturbing them. After the class is over, Yukana leaves the school with her friends, and as soon as she leaves, Kashi calls Junichi from behind and asks him to help her finish some work assigned by the teacher. Being a gentleman, Junichi is unable to deny her and agrees to help her. Soon, Kashi takes Junichi to a cafe and orders a cup of coffee and tea. In the cafe, Yui chastises Yukana while Junichi seems confused about his relationship, despite the fact that he and Yukana are a couple. Later at night, while Shinpei is watching the live stream of the same girl, Boa, he presses the print screen button and finally understands that the girl he knew somewhere in Boa was simply the same person. The following day, Kashi again approaches Junichi and asks for help. While they are conversing, Shinpei records Kashi and tries to compare her picture with the girl he watched the night before. Meanwhile, Junichi follows Kashi to the rooftop and is confused about what they are going to do there. Elsewhere, Shinpei tells Kaigo and Minoru about his discovery, that Boa and Kashi are in fact the same person, using her belittling viewpoint that connects them and comparing the photographs. To their surprise, Renko arrives there and butts into their conversation, forcing them to share their discovery. On the other hand, Kashi comes closer to Junichi and tells him she likes him. She then asks Junichi to be with her and also urges him to break up with Yukana. Despite Kashi confessing her love to Junichi, he kindly rejects it and tells her that he wants to be with Yukana more than her. Hearing this, Kashi becomes enraged and abruptly expresses her displeasure that Junichi should follow her orders like a dog. She also tells Junichi that she actually recorded their conversation at the cafe the previous day, and warns Junichi that she will tell Yukana what they talked about at the cafe if he rejects her. Realizing that he talked about the uncertainty of his relationship with Yukana at the cafe, Junichi starts to panic and asks Kashi to delete the footage. Suddenly, to Junichi's good luck, Renko and his sexist friend shows up at the rooftop to his rescue. As Renko is already informed about Kashi's secret identity, Boa, she threatens to disclose it to the class if she continues to extort Junichi and force him to break up with Yukana. Listening to this, Kashi gets shocked and walks away from there, not before handing over the memory card that contains the footage of her and Junichi's conversation at the cafe to Junichi. Before she leaves, Junichi's friend also tells her that they too know about her secret identity, making her feel embarrassed. After Kashi leaves, Yukana arrives there and is relieved to see that Junichi is still completely infatuated with her.